What's up, everyone? It's your boy Radd89 here, bringing another Radd movie review today, talking about another horror film that came out in 2024, catching up again, like I said, on some movies that I missed. Today we're going to talk about Cuckoo. This is directed by Tillman Singer, and this one was quite a crazy ride. This is a weird, avant-garde type horror movie. I got a lot of things to say about this one, so today you're going to hear my positives, the negatives, the rating, and then I'm going to send you all home, so let's do this. Roll it. So Cuckoo stars Hunter Schafer, Dan Stevens, and Jessica Heinrich, and this film is about Gretchen, who is I think she's 17. Yes, she's a 17-year-old who ends up going away from America. She's going to stay with her father, and they're going to stay at a resort in the German Alps because her father and her stepmother are being tasked with building a new resort for Dan Stevens' character. And as Gretchen's character starts working at this resort, she works at like this hotel section in the resort, and then just slowly starts to notice really weird things and starts to have visions and stuff. And like I said, as the movie goes on and ensues, we unravel quite a weird, crazy story. And yeah, I have a lot to say about this one. This one definitely, in terms of positives, let's get some of the positives out of here and talk about those first. Right off the bat, this movie is shot really well. I think there's some really good cinematography, and the way it looks, it has a really out there feel to it in terms of the locations that they shoot at, the way it looks, the resort, the design of the rooms, just the way the characters look. It's just a movie that definitely is trying to put on an atmosphere and put you in a place where you're just feeling out of the norm, you know what I mean? Because nothing feels normal or right. And I think the performances are really good. Like, I think Hunter Schafer's performance, she does a really good job. I think Dan Stevens does a really good job as well. So I don't have any problems with the acting or the way the film looks or the cinematography. Like, that is cool. All that stuff is really good. Now we kind of get into the mixed and negatives, because I have a lot to say about this one in terms of what I didn't like. And this is more from a creative standpoint when it comes to this movie, and it's the writing. I think this is one of those films that intentionally just tries to confuse you on purpose. I did like the third act as well too. That's another positive I want to sprinkle in before we get into more negatives, is that I think where this movie really shines is the last 20 minutes. As I said, from a creative standpoint, a writing and directing standpoint, I think this film intentionally tries to confuse its audience members, and I don't really like that because they purposely don't give you information. There isn't really any hints to certain things or what they talk about, and nothing is fully discussed. So I like our performances, but the characters don't act like normal people. Like, you know what I mean? The way that people would react, Hunter Schafer's character Gretchen, the way she would react, or 17-year-old would react, it's just totally different. It's totally weird. Even her father, their relationship, it's not really dived into that much. So all of the characters are kind of surface level, like I said, except for our lead character. That's the only one we really get to dive into that much. Everyone else is just kind of there. Another mixed and negative that I have is that the first two acts of this film, I think, are kind of a slog to get through. This film took about an hour for me to really get into it, and I wasn't going to give up on it. That's what I mean. Like, I always give a movie a fair shake, and I wanted to finish the film so I could sit here and do this review for you guys and talk to you guys about it. But in terms of the first two acts of this film, it's kind of a slog to get through. Like I said, it took about the hour mark before I was really invested in the story, and I was like, all right, where is this going? What are we doing? And kind of, getting into it. So it definitely had to do a lot of work to get me into the film. Like I said, the last 20 minutes, the third act, is where this movie shines. I do like that part a lot. I love, like I said, the ending kind of stuff. And when we finally do get the reveal, I think it's interesting and it's cool. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like I said, when we get the reveal and when you find out what's happening, I think it's cool and it's interesting, but I just don't think it's dived into necessarily the way I wanted it to be. Like I said, I think from a creative standpoint, there's a lot missing from this movie. And I'm cool with movies that get weird. That's one thing I was watching this movie, I'm like saying it in my head and like thinking it. I'm like, I love when movies get weird. I'm totally down for this. That's why I did not want to give up on this movie. And like I said, I did eventually like the ending spot where we landed. It's just getting there was so taxing. Like I said, I want to watch this again just just to see my feelings on it. Not right now, not anytime soon. This is definitely a movie that I can't rewatch every day, all the time kind of thing. But I do eventually want to rewatch this film just to see if I have the same feeling about it. Like if me knowing where it's going to go, if that helps me enjoy the beginning half of the movie better. Because like I said, it felt like very much just like we had to get through all this stuff to get to the meat of the bones, the third act. That was really great. So that's like where I stand on this film. But I got to give the creator and the writers props. Like I said, this is a very kind of unique film that I've seen, like in terms of the story and what they're trying to tackle. It's kind of unique, you know what I mean? It's laid out a little bit in the story, like, you know, with some things that you might end up hearing about. But like I said, the way it's tackled, the way it's handled, it's a very avant-garde, kind of weird, artsy film. But I think there's an audience for this film. I like the fact that at least this film's creative and it goes out there and they do try to be weird. So understand that when you go into this movie, this isn't kind of your natural, normal pace type movie or the story or anything like that. This is definitely a movie that's kind of out there, and I think there is an audience for that. So your boy Norn Radd, in my book, Cuckoo, the movie is going to get a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, I was on the cusp of giving it a 7, like over rewatches later in life. You know, and I check it out a couple more times, it might climb up in the rating. Like I said, me knowing where the film ends up, maybe that's going to help me enjoy the first 2 acts a little bit better. But right now, as it stands, it's a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's still an above average film for me. It's just not one that I'm going to see myself, you know, rewatching over and over and over and stuff like that. But I do want to give this a second watch. Like I said, the performances were off the charts. It's a very creative film and it does look really good. There's a lot of cool cinematography and like the on-set locations and all that stuff. Very beautiful. Dan Stevens is another great standout. I think a lot of people will like him as well. So please like the video. That definitely helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and have that notification bell poked so you're notified anytime I drop a video. And also let me know down below in the comment section if you've seen Cuckoo. Was this a slam dunk horror film for you? Was this one really creative and you thought it was awesome, or were you kind of in the mediocre middle ground? Because that's where I'm kind of sitting, where I liked elements of it, but there's some stuff holding it back still. Or was this one just not for you? I would love to discuss with you down below, but you all know most importantly what's up. Have a safe and happy day. Peace out.